Hello, my friends. Did King Herod really have all the male children to and under killed after the birth of Jesus? Let's take a look. Video by Patrick Solomon. Please support his work by hitting the like button. According to Matthew 2:16-18, hearing of the birth of Jesus, King Herod ordered the massacre of innocent children in Bethlehem. The Bible account describes the massacre as an attempt to eliminate Jesus, who Herod perceived as a threat to his throne. The King James Version reads, "Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth, and sent forth, and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem and in all the coasts thereof, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet, saying, In Ramah was there a voice heard, lamentation and weeping, and great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children, and would not be comforted, because they are not." This last verse is a reference to Jeremiah 31:15. Rachel weeps for her children, who have been taken into exile. Matthew isn't exactly taking this verse out of context, but he's adding a layer of meaning that isn't in the Hebrew text. King James makes it more confusing by using fulfilled for the Greek, plero-ng. It makes it read as if it's fulfillment of prophecy, as if Jeremiah was predicting Herod's actions. This isn't accurate. Scholarly consensus on the Greek, plero-ng indicates that its primary meaning in this context is to bring to completion, realize, accomplish, or bring to pass God's will and promises that Matthew infers from Old Testament scriptures. For Matthew, the event isn't a fulfillment of prophecy in the sense of a prediction of Herod's actions, but rather portraying Jesus as the embodiment of hope, that he is the future of Israel, and a promise that he will be restored to Jerusalem. Matthew is claiming a promise or an expectation from God that he is inferring from precedents and patterns in the Old Testament scripture. He is seeing a correlation between the two events. The context of the Jeremiah 31:15 is the Babylonian exile around 597 BC to 538 BC, where Jeremiah personifies the nation's grief through the matriarch Rachel, whose tomb is located near Bethlehem. The verse is part of a larger prophecy of consolation within Jeremiah 31, which foretells the restoration of Israel after the Babylonian exile. Of course, scholars now concur this prophecy was written after the exile and returned to Israel. In Judaism, this has never been considered to be a prophecy about any other event beyond that specific event and time in history. Certainly not a messianic prophecy. Now back to Herod. There is no independent historical record outside of the Bible, even outside the Gospel of Matthew, that confirms Herod's order to kill male babies in and around Bethlehem. It is not mentioned in the other Gospels. There is also a lack of corroboration from historical sources, including the writings of Josephus and Nicolaus of Damascus, a friend of Herod the Great, which both detail Herod's atrocities, but neither mention this event. As always, Patrick encourages civil discourse, input, scrutiny, and correction.